Hi, good morning. I have gotten enlightened this morning, which put me like in a shock mode, but in a think form. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna record. Just the way my mind was moving so fast, sometimes it's just easier to record other than to just try to process everything within your mind. I'm reading out of my The Science of Self-Recognition book. Again, I got up this morning and Spirit was calling me to get enlightened in that form, which not surprising. I got up in the 6 o'clock hour, which is in the dark, enters in the dark. But I stumbled across a passage that put my mind in a form of you really have to think as into what is the purpose of life? And what led me to that is within the passage, I only got to the second sentence. Like I read the introduction and stuff, which I highlighted some aspects in there, and I'm gonna go back and touch on it, referencing to what I'm getting at, as into what is the point of life, um, and it's coming from a blind person's perspective. That's the part that made me have to really stop and think, because I talk about blind people a lot. Well, I reference to them a lot because they really amaze me, like how they function, like how they just still be shopping, like downtown Columbus is a busy, busy aspect of the area. Waiting at bus stops by themselves to get on the bus. I'd be amazed. Walking across the street, traffic, like for a person who can see, like we can see. We see that that's almost a joke. Traffic and just things are chaotic. Where it's just like, oh my God, this is the definition of taking a leap of faith. You want me just to go jump off the bridge and just know I'm gonna land beautifully? I'm not even gonna land. I'm gonna start flying. Like it really just really made me think because they're not seeing none of this. So like everything that most people strive for, it's like it comes off irrelevant because it's like you can't see it. But for a blind person, what is driving them that is the beauty of life, if that makes sense. Which really had me have to think because it comes to an appreciation aspect. For me, I'm sure it's the eternal side, but literally, what is the point of life? It's something that a normal person, metaphorically like me, would say. That's like we can see things, we can hear. We seem like we have something to strive for because we can see something that we want. But for a blind person, well, what is the point of life? It's something that really made me like, oh my God, I gotta think, what is the point of life? It's something that I actually say sometimes. I really be wondering for a person like me who normally function on their own, like I don't have people to turn to metaphorically. Like I have a spiritual community that pull cards like me, or there's motivator speakers that can go online and get enlightened by them. There's books that I have that people have written, like letters for me that I can go back and reference to get enlightenment and support. But it's the intriguing part that connects with what is the point of life. It's like for me, when I say that, I honestly don't know what I'm striving for because at the end of the day, it's like I don't have nobody to do it for. Metaphorically, it's like it almost come off in a selfish form. Like I just do everything for me, but it's like I know I don't. It's the opposite way. I thrive off my spirituality, and I do it for the overall. The bigger picture. I know when I come back, I want things to be better. So it's like I'm not really looking at this life as being the best. It's just I'm here and I'm doing my part. I'm building while I can while I'm here. But sometimes it literally don't seem like that. It seems like what is the point of life? But I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go back to the introduction part. I think that's important really quickly. Or should I wait for that? Well, I said this, so I'm gonna go. But introduction. Chosen for the science of self recognition. Knowledge that opens up the secret of the self within us, which, as I said, that goes back to what I got stuck on because this is just the introduction part. I read all of it like little appreciation things and everything. I like reading all that. I just don't hop into like chapter one aspect. Like I really read through it because it's important. But the introduction part was just like, oh my God, that's intriguing. I see why I got myself up. When they say the chosen ones, there's people who's naturally aligned for this aspect of energy. That's the intriguing part. And I feel like it do go with blind people. They always amaze me. They just always do. Like deaf and ones that can't speak. Like it's intriguing. But blind, you can't see. You can't see how you're doing anything. That is an intriguing area of energy. Like I even watched on YouTube before, like some blind videos. Like I can't remember what made me look it up. Honestly, probably 'cause I just got amazed. Like I probably seen one of them downtown when I was downtown. Like I be coming on some creepy behavior sometimes because if I see them, like I see that cane, which catch my attention. But sometimes maybe people just have canes. But I think anywho, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I don't think people just carry those canes around for no dog or reason. You carry the cane because you can't see. But if I see you with that goddamn cane, you best believe I'm stopping and observing. And I might attempt to try to follow you just to see how you function. And that's what I do sometimes. And I come off like creepy behavior, but I just be so amazed at how just out here just strolling and can't see. How are you doing that? It amazes me each time. It just really does. And I know they have to have spiritual guidance. I'm a spiritual machine. That's all I thrive off is spiritual guidance. But once again, those eyes sometimes can have you just, I don't know. It's a blessing maybe for this life journey and purpose for me, but I wonder if I ever been blind. I don't know if I ever been blind because it amazes me. It's something that my mind just seems like it can't comprehend. So I have to see it. That seeing it is believing it, maybe. Well, metaphorically, I'm just saying maybe because like it amazes me. Like I actually had a conversation with one, and she amazed me. Honestly, she totally amazed me at the things she can do. Like she said, she wanted to drive. I think she used to drive before, and she wanted to drive. It's just like it wasn't like scary. It made sense because like there's cars that can drive themselves. You can have a fucking vehicle. It's just the whole aspect of some things you just don't think about. You don't put two and two together. Like a blind person driving shit. Traffic already seem like they blind. All these goddamn car accidents, and these are people who can visually see. So a blind person who got spiritual guidance, they should navigate quite well. They do it well on their own goddamn 2 feet navigating. It blows my mind. It totally just blows my mind. I don't know if I even want to pull cards. I just actually wanted to highlight on that aspect, which I had to pull my other book out because within me in the process of getting ready to share that with you guys, this one caught my attention. I feel like these go hand to hand. But definitely when it comes to the blind energy, it's a coming back energy, which probably reference back to why I said I don't know if I ever been blind. I've done a lot of lifetimes, but I don't know if I ever came in the form of blind, metaphorically, like literally can't see, just working off all energy. I use energy now, but I can see signs. Like even how I picked this book up, this is a sign. But for a blind person, what am I thriving off other than actual trust of guidance of what sent me here? And of course, just sounds and things like that, which is a lot of trust. But it's intriguing because of the perspectives that most people use who have eyes. A blind person, I'm pretty sure, is totally irrelevant because you're working off just nothing but sounds. It's almost like an animal to an extent. Definitely like in the water or something. How they use like those sound waves and things like that, which that's probably a great form, but it's intriguing when they say human life is the best life. In what form? If it's like the highest potential concept, It comes off literally like you have to be blind. It's intriguing to me personally. I really do want to know what zodiac is influencing this energy. Honestly, 'cause my mind just that's the area that I really am passionate about, and it really just it intrigues me. I couldn't even make it past the first sentence. I seen blind. I was like, in the point of life. Oh shit! What is it? My mind instantly went on froze mode. What the hell is the point of life? I'm gonna have to, if I see one, I'm gonna have to ask them, like, what do you feel like the point of life is? And I hope they don't think I'm being disrespectful or funny, because I surely am not in no form of a way. A Cancer, the light in the dark, all day. Cancer energy came. That's funny. I actually seen the moon too last night. I was so happy after I got done doing my laundry. It's intriguing how sometimes you want to complain about something because I was waiting at the intersection, at the light, because I'm one of those ones who actually follow the concept for the most part. There's some times where I do be like, you know what? Well, this don't make no sense. I'm about to cross the street, and I don't use the signs. Most of the time, I honestly do, and people they get offended by that. Like, man, if you don't just cross the street, no, this keeps me safe. I have to follow these traffic light aspects. This is for walker concept. I actually operate like I'm a vehicle, so I guess sometimes I do run the red light, but anyhow. Sometimes I do run the red light. There's sometimes I do, but that's just very. It's once in a blue moon I do that. Okay. Overall, I really do follow the traffic signal lights for the walker pedestrian concept. If it says stop, I normally stop. If it says walk, I go. That's how I operate. And I like people who are around me to do the same thing. They normally follow alone, but sometimes they be like, "Oh my god, you is tripping. Ain't no cars coming, ma'am. Who cares? Keeping me safe." There is times where I don't follow that and I almost get hit. It'd be intriguing. Like I knew I should have freaking waited. Goddamn car tried to hit me because I didn't follow the sign. But anywho, and they go Libra again. Libra balance. That's funny. What was I getting at? Oh, I see the moon. I was waiting at the god doggone intersection to cross the street, and the bus that I needed to get on rolled down the street. So I was like, "Oh, just missed the bus. God dog it." I was like, "I'm not really in a rush." This is the whole fact of like, geez, I could have just didn't use that traffic light and got to the other side and caught the doggone bus. Could have went that way. There's the whole fact that I'm not in a rush. What else you gotta do, man? Did everything I needed to do, got my clothes clean, be able to have fresh clothes. That's all that really mattered to me within that moment. So anyway, I get to the bus stop and I'm sitting there and I look up eventually and I'm like, oh my God, I just seen the moon. Like it did like a peekaboo on me because there were so many clouds out where it was just like you seen it and then the clouds came back over it. So I was so happy. I pulled that phone out, got the recording, which I shared it with you guys, but I just was so happy. Then it came out again. That's so intriguing. And once again, the energy that came to me is phrases. Focus on the things that you're doing during these cycles. And the cycle for me, I just realized came yesterday. Um, and today, what am I speaking on? Today, I'm speaking on what is the point of life? On a blind concept. Can't see. Just make you have to question where you get your answers from. Who you reference to. You just have to do a lot of questioning. Um, I'm gonna see what house is influencing this energy. Virgo, hi darling. Look at the bottom of that. Let me shuffle in. Aquarius at the bottom of it. That's funny. Okay. But we're gonna see what zodiac Jesus is dead. We're gonna see what house in astrology is standing out to die with this energy of what is the point of life? Get light in the dark? That's spiritual guidance all day. You have to trust guidance that brought you here. The definition of I knew you before you were placed in the womb. This is ancestor based. Some people like to say, or I'll use it in the form of ascended masters or ancestors. It's people who already been here. It's nothing but like a chain of rhythm, I want to say. Because you normally honestly pray to your ancestors. That's the intriguing part. People don't know that. Ah, we got third house. This is beautiful, Jesus. Your third house in astrology. Distant communication, the mother. It's guiding you. It's like a Mother Earth energy. It could be Gaia energy too. This is water. Kendra is element water. How so beautiful. I got my water out. I got my blue on. It's intriguing because I did, honestly. Like, I naturally do this. Like, I didn't go buy this outfit. This is like my third time in it. I cleaned it, okay? It's just, this is a cozy, cute outfit in this blue. So certain things I just like to hold on to and treasure and wear it until I'm over it. But this is a repeat that I like a lot. But it's blue. And I had to keep it because water has been so important to me. And I actually learned that within my birth chart at the moment is full of water. Like half of my chart is full of water. So I'm in a really sensitive type of energy right now, but also so glowing and beautiful. A lot of mermaid energy for me for sure, which is not surprising because that's my natural behavior. It's just I'm aware of my actions because I actually went for a reading. So I've been actually wanting to know about my birth chart. I'm honestly not too familiar with how birth charts go. I've been wanting to get that done for a while and I actually went and got it done and I was like, oh, I'm in perfect alignment. That makes sense. It's intriguing how you just naturally do things. You just unaware of why you're doing them. Um, what was I getting at though? Communication, water. Um, it's playing a really big part. And as I said, it feels like this could be Gaia energy too. I'm gonna go over to Gaia really quick. I only got all of them out today. Then read from Gaia really quick. See what Gaia got really quick. To grow in any direction you choose, embrace that potential. Embrace a blind potential. You will learn the point of life. To grow in any direction, embrace, choose that potential. You have to embrace this. And that's a hard concept for a person who can see. It's something I actually try sometimes. It's intriguing. Like sometimes I really do. 'Cause as I said, I get inspired by blind people. It'd be intriguing. My damn partner be a blind person. I hate to chuckle. 'Cause it's just intriguing. Just because it amazes me. But not say it wouldn't be bad for me. Like you wouldn't mind having a blind partner. No, it'd give me something to do. I will feel needed. And that's the intriguing part. Like, and I will be learning at the same time. It's almost like I hate to think about a partner as a child, but in a form of a way, yeah. They probably would think of me as a child in certain things too, because you just watch and observe how they do things. That is amazing to me. It will always probably be amazing to me, honestly. How they just do things. It's like a child. Like my actual child that I birthed, when he was younger, just watching how he did things. Like how he would learn how to crawl. And like, I actually learned how to walk, pardon me. He would go up to things and he just would just grab it and pull his little self up. Like he normally would use a chair to do it too. That's the intriguing thing. What do they normally use to pull themselves up? Like it normally would be a chair. He would go in the kitchen and he'd get a chair and he'd get the leg of the chair and he just would pull his little self up. Then he'd hold the chair, then he'd try to walk, then he'd fall. Then I would say he'll backtrack, but I honestly can't remember. But just the whole concept with me thinking within that moment, what do a person normally use to hold themselves up is important too. If you think of a child, if you watch a child, or just anything, they go to anything that they can get to, or they just try to just lean their goddamn self up. It's intriguing to me. To grow in any direction, choose, embrace that potential. Ah, lovely. Who was? I wish I would have looked to see who that was. The King of Earth. I ain't got none of this one highlighted. Intriguing. This is new energy. The King of Air. Take pride in accomplishments. Pay it forward. Honor your process. Now is not the time to make changes. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Free yourself from control. Don't be lazy. Abuse of power. Intriguing. I feel like this is going with the energy that I'm speaking on when it comes to the King of Earth. That's funny because, I'm a Taurus. I rules in that area for sure. But definitely when it says enjoy life, that's what I was thinking of too. Well, my mind went frozen for a minute, even thinking about what is the point of life. Gaia have been running circles around me on lessons in a two perspective form. And it's just like, one, what life are you talking about? The afterlife or the moment present life? Which that's kind of one of the same, which that's, once again, perspectives all day. Um, but for me, it's honestly, I had to keep always going on the spiritual concept. That's what we thrive for. Even if we just enjoy in the moment, just it's intriguing to say because both of them are here within the moment. Like the spiritual side drives the actual moment. That is form. We are just the vehicle for the eternal side. And I learned that through chakra form, like carrying energies. How people are be able to say, I recognize your aura or things like that. It's compliments of chakras, but it's nothing but the energy you're carrying. That's the intriguing part. And but for me, that gets deeper. It goes with different frequencies and things like that. But it's definitely compliments of the energy you carry. And there is seven. Oh, my back is tingling. I'm scratching my back. Got a little tangle, got a little itch. Scratch really quick. But let me give me some of this drink. I give myself chuckles. But within me learning about that concept, because we have 7 chakras, so that's just showing how much energy you can carry at one doggone time. But having a companion, it balances out to love. Not that was that was so beautiful to me learning that when they speak of let two become one. You have more room, but it's one. I see, I'm about to drift into a different energy, but it's the same aspect. It's just the beauty of learning that and knowing what can be done and why I should be able to sell so beautiful. Definitely, when they say don't yoke with an unbeliever. Your guidance should naturally have you in a perfect alignment, like a community base. You already have it together. Y'all follow the same. I want to say traditions, but another word one that comes to my mind, but I can't even think of it, which is intriguing. But traits. Y'all believe in the same thing. It's intriguing because I heard it in a different form before. As to the way you love yourself, because it made me caught my attention. Because like I love myself, and I love myself because all I have is eternal guidance all day, but it operates through me. So it's like, of course, I love myself. But I actually really, I like the way I look. I like my parents, but I like my actual self. I love the guidance that is me. if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I would say little ones that's not me too, because I do recognize when I'm carrying other energy. I notice when my son is coming through me. I can notice when my ex is coming through me because we have a bond. We have a bond. And it's intriguing because he's the only person who actually stayed. That's the intrigue. We have a bond. We naturally have a bond. Um, is something within this contract of energy, or we just meant to be together. We're destined. It's destined. Um, but I'm able to recognize that. Like, luckily, I don't just not like that person. That'd be intriguing to carry energy of somebody you just don't like. But that's probably why some people really don't like themselves. They recognize the energy and it's just like, I can't stand it. Maybe that's a lesson you have to learn to love and appreciate and understand why you're carrying it, if that makes sense. There's a reason why you're carrying it. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to really explain that, but other than the way I did it, it's just I'm able to recognize when I'm carrying other energies. And I normally bring it to the front row, like, oh, I know who this is. Like, that's another thing too. I spoke on it recently as part of a self-recognition. The science of self-recognition is how people identify you. Um, and there, what did it say? I want to make sure I say it correctly. He was quick to point out to everyone that they shouldn't think of him not as God, but as God's servant. That goes back with the energy of that two God concept. You can't believe in two gods. It get confused because people do things like they're God, but it's their actual guidance. You have to separate, let them know you're carrying spiritual guidance. You being spiritually guided. It's not that you the God. In this, it says you the servant. But as how I keep saying, we're the vehicle for the spiritual guidance. But some people like to be identified as God, like they're the only ones just doing it. But it does get tricky because your guidance is you. Y'all naturally reflect it. Y'all believe in the same thing. It's your tribe form. But sometimes it do cause confusion when people are not referencing to their spiritual guidance. They think it's just all them. Or people just observe what they're doing. They're like, oh, you're God. It gets intriguing. And within this, it says, he was quick to point out to everyone that they should think of him not as God, but as God's servant. Then he reflected a moment and went on. Actually, I am not a servant. I am trying to be a servant of God. I am not a servant of God. I am trying to be a servant of God. A servant of God is no ordinary thing. And it isn't. Even with the examples that I just gave, because everything almost comes like a contradictory, or you really have to, it's a lot of trust that you have to do. Which it comes off like you gotta come off like a crazy person, but it's just like, why you look at it in that form of a way? And I have to go back to that blind concept. All that trust is important. So for a person who can see and they like, I'm gonna come off crazy. To who? You can't see nothing. All you learning is trust. And what you trusting, you just gonna sell. You have to trust that I'm about to cross this street. I hear all this chaos around, but you don't know it's chaos. That's the intriguing part. That's the intriguing that's the intriguing part to me. Cause you can't see nothing. Like I wanna say you don't know nothing. But maybe they know way more than what our minds can even imagine because we see everything. If that makes sense. Because the way that they operate, it's intriguing. It gives a way bigger projection of energy that I want to say we just couldn't probably fabricate because they don't see nothing. And for me, I was about to say all this chaos, and you just gotta trust cross the street. And then once you just do it, you're like, oh my God, I really made it across the street. But in general, you didn't even know it was chaos. Because when I say chaos, you hear horns beeping, you hearing people like yelling and saying all this type of stuff, all these different conversations going on. You probably want to turn around and see what's going on or look that way because somebody beeping that way, but you just cross the street. And you actually make it across the street. It just that enlightenment and awareness it always gets me. But this feels like an energy that you can abuse it, honestly. And it's like, do not. That's the intriguing part. This is like people who, from my understanding, some hearing of it, like I feel like I kind of experienced it, honestly. I did get two readings, and I honestly felt like one of the readers, she wasn't all the way legit, honestly. That's just what I believe, personally. But it's like people who read the holy book, and this is just for what I hear, and they misuse it or they abuse it. And that's people like pastors, they just want all your money. They just tell you anything. Like they know people just need this healing and things like that. So they just tell you just so you get all your money. Like people who abuse that energy. That's what I feel like. Then the 10 of air. How lovely. A balance. I did see Libra too. That's great. See and know your potential. No longer does duality separate and divide. You are you, whole and complete. I feel like that's period. That's on period. That's funny because I'm actually on my period. I play too much Jesus, but seriously, I really am. I'm almost done, but seriously, I feel like that's the balance and that's like the period of a period. Of just this whole energy that was brought to me this morning. That's been so beautiful, honestly. Individuality is being who you are meant to be, opposed to being the person society tells us we should be. Integrating conscious and unconsciousness. And that those the answers right there for sure. It is integrating conscience and unconsciousness. And I really feel like I need to talk. Did I even finish explaining that? How I watched some videos on YouTube of a blind person just to understand their personality. And the one that I found, he had such a great personality. He was so bubbly. Like he had like a beautiful mindset on everything. Because there's levels to blind. That's the intriguing part. Like some people are like partially blind. Like for me, I'm like a partially blind. I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I can literally see. Like I always say I see clear, but I am a person who's supposed to wear glasses. So in some form of way, I'm partially blind, which you know it makes sense. That I need some type of extra help spiritually, but seriously, there's levels to blind, which I didn't know that. That's another reason that's another thing that I learned when I looked at it. Like there's levels to blind. Like there's some people who can partially see. They can like it's blurry, but they can see like shapes and of things, which I didn't know that. I thought blind meant blind, and that was the one I'm referring to is blind. Like I would say pitch black, but they can still see like color. Like they can know that it's daylight, um, or like that is it's a light form. Like they can see like those. It's not like just dark all the time, which that's how I thought it was. Like it's just dark all the time. So that with your eyes closed, it's dark. But even with your eyes being closed, yeah, I see like little red things or something like it. You can still see like some type of forms of light, metaphorically. And it's not even that bright, but I don't know, this way I thought. But anyhow. He was actually blind. He was actually blind. But he had such a great personality. And he was like they was doing like a podcast or something. I think he was with an actual. Was he with another blind person? Was she blind too? I don't know, but he do podcasts and he have like guests on there. He answered questions that people be asking, or he talked about things that people asked him. It'd just be amazing the things that people, even probably me, like you probably be amazed, like, oh my God, why would you think that? Or you might think like I'm perfect, like, oh my Jesus, I don't know. It's just some questions that people ask me weird. Like, Bob. The whole aspect that I'm getting at. He was just so bubbly. He had such a beautiful mindset about everything. Or like that was something I remember. Like somebody asked him, do he watch movies? He blind. How did he watch movies? But intriguingly, he do. He listened. He watched movies like the radio. That was the funny, intriguing part. He said, "I do." When he said he do, I did chuckle just like what I am now. But just the whole fact of how you gonna ask a blind person if they watch movies? They can't see, yo. It's a little funny, but he said they actually did be watching movies. But it comes like in a radio form, like you listen to it metaphorically. But I guess in a perspective, that's watching a movie. That's the intriguing extra part for sure. Tit of air. You are whole, complete. No longer does duality separate and divide. You are you, whole and complete. A liberation. Ten of air. How lovely. So that's been the energy, you guys, for today. Something to think about. And some just great enlightenment, honestly, that I wanted to share with you guys because I was like, wow, what's the point of life, yo? Something to think about from a blind person's perspective.